Hello, everybody. I'm Jalen, and welcome to episode 21 of my Minecraft Survival World. And I'm glad to be back in my main world here. I've been on a little break from Minecraft for a little while. Ended up going a little longer than I planned on, but like I said before, I've always come back. So here I am, and I'm excited to be back. And we're starting off here in our main villager area here, and we've been working here the last few episodes. And I think we've got things looking pretty good. I'm really liking the area down here, and we got the houses done last time for the villagers, and I do plan on coming and getting all these interiors done sooner than later. But coming back, I kind of wanted to start fresh on a completely new project, so we're kind of breaking off a little bit this episode, and I'm going to start working over here in this jungle that I've had my eye on all this time, kind of get the third area of my world started here. So yeah, the jungle over here I plan on kind of eventually turning into my industrial area. And what better way to start it off than with an iron farm? And this is the first iron farm I'm ever making. I have never made an iron farm before. I've been in a couple realms where somebody made one, but I've never made an iron farm for myself. So we're going to go on that today, starting off with just chopping some trees and getting the area cleared out. And even though we're in a jungle, we had lots of these big oak trees, which are real annoying to chop, but it's nice getting some oak wood mixed in with all the jungle wood I'm going to be getting. And yeah, it's worked till the sun came up, and when the sun started rising, it really got me excited for building over here, just because we're going to have such an awesome view of our area that we've built so far in the morning. So yeah, get rid of this skeleton here, and I also discovered that we've got this river that goes underneath our little hill that we're building on here. That's a really cool little area down here. I'll have to figure out something cool to do here in the future, but for now I'm going to stay focused and keep working on the hill, just chopping trees, getting the area figured out. Had to flatten a bunch out just to have a nice area to work, because I plan on this being a pretty big build. I didn't have any wool with me, and I wanted to sleep the rain away, so I went back to my house in the villager area. And on my way back, I'm liking all the trees we've got cleared, definitely getting an area to work over there, but I got sidetracked at this point, just got working on the path over to the new area, and this ended up being quite a little project. But getting paths is always nice to get done. I'm always quick to do those, just to kind of give me a map for what I want to do. And yeah, I think I've explained this before, but when I do paths, I like to get the middle cleared out with all the corners connected and just do it one wide, and then you can make the path however wide you want just by going and extending out without connecting the corners. So this road I plan on going 5 wide, so you can kind of see here I'm just extending as I go, and that way you get a nice shape to your road and you don't have weird corners that just don't work, and it all stays the same width all the way across. And yeah, getting the path in, it's got me real excited to get something kind of built on the sides here on this waterfront area. Is going to be cool in the future. And we're also going to have a huge bridge going across here. I went ahead and just made a temporary single line across just to kind of give me an idea how big it's going to be, and it's definitely going to be a sizable bridge. Not going to get to that today, but I am looking forward to getting that done. It's going to look really cool. But for now, we're going to get going on the iron farm. Got this pillar down just to have it centered with the bridge, so when you're crossing the bridge, this build's going to be perfectly centered with it, and it'll look cool in the future. But went and gathered up a whole bunch of materials here, and like I said, this is the first iron farm I've ever built. I'm definitely just following a tutorial. I went with a tutorial by 1UpMC. And yeah, I think this is a real cool, simple, easy iron farm. I always thought it was going to be so much harder than this ended up being. But yeah, I'm not going to take you through a step-by-step process. If you want to watch the tutorial, go ahead and watch his video. It's real easy to follow. But I'm going to kind of show my process just because I want to document it for myself, being the first one I've ever made. And what I liked about his version was how just compact it was. You did this with the beds, and I feel like it just made it smaller and easier, so it's not such a big building. Yeah, we got 20 beds down, and then you just get 20 workstations on top. Then it was time to go ahead and get some villagers in this little box here, which definitely the toughest part of this whole build. I had to make a nice rail line all the way down to the water. Took a little bit of work, but really not too bad. Yeah, I just had to head over to our village over here, and I had to find villagers that I hadn't traded with, so there weren't too many of them, so I ended up having to kind of pick this guy up in the middle of town and take the slow boat ride to the water. Then I just brought him all the way around and got to our rail line here and sent him on up. And just had to get 2 of those guys in here. Got them released and made sure they had plenty of carrots, and then it was just kind of a waiting game, letting them breed until there was 20 villagers in there. Did a little bit of building as I was waiting, but I couldn't go too far because I wanted to make sure that the villagers grew up and didn't have any nitwits. I had to wait for 20 adults, and we had our first golem spawn up here, which is a good sign, but a little early, bud. I had to get him out of the way, and then got back to work on actually getting the platform where I do want the golems to spawn. And like I said, what I liked about this version of an iron farm is just, I feel like it's smaller than a lot of the other ones. They're just compact, and it seems to work pretty well. And I'm realizing the trick with iron farms is just making sure you don't have spawnable blocks, which ends up being a big theme in this whole episode here. But yeah, we got the spawning platform all put together like we wanted. Had to hop down and kill the couple of golems that had spawned already because they were taking up the mob cap. And I tried to get cute with this guy, thinking I could outsmart him there, and I forgot how strong they really were. But hey, those who've been following along, pretty used to a death in an episode around here. But yeah, just made our way back and picked up our stuff, went ahead and pillared up and just hung out a second to see if we were going to get one to spawn in here, and before too long, my first iron golem in my first iron farm. I was really excited. I've been playing Minecraft for 10 years, and like I said, this is the first iron farm I've made, which is crazy to say, but very satisfying. Went ahead and hopped down here just to make sure the hoppers were picking up everything correctly, and yeah, we've had a few more spawn in there that I didn't know about, so it seems to be working, even though I know it's not at full efficiency because I've still got spawnable areas around there, but that'll be fixed throughout the episode here, as now we got to get working on the building around here to make this just look a lot cooler. And yeah, quite the project here. It ends up being the biggest build I've ever made. And I'm totally just freestyling things here, working from the top down just because I want things to match up nicely with the farm here. And as I'm building, I'm making all the blocks unspawnable. So we're using carpets and stairs and fences, so there won't be any blocks that golems can spawn on, and that's a big thing in this build here, otherwise the farm isn't going to work correctly. So lots of work, but I actually really enjoyed myself here. Really got in a good zone, just plugging away, pushing along. And yeah, I guess I haven't mentioned yet, even though you've seen the thumbnail, but yeah, I'm just kind of being inspired. I searched Mayan temple and just kind of being inspired by that general idea. So we're not going with just a regular pyramid, we're going with kind of a step pyramid type thing. And just wanted to get the stairs laid out, making sure they met up at the top nicely, and now everything should be pretty easy from here on out as far as the math goes and making the shape right. But yeah, we're going to be going through tons of materials here, starting with dirt, giving ourselves a nice platform to work with. Lots of dirt. And I had been stocking up lots of dirt over the last while, last quite a few episodes, getting quite a few chests full. But this did quite the number in my dirt coffers. But yeah, now that we got the platform laid out, you can really tell how big this building is. Definitely the biggest building I've ever made. And I'm pretty excited for it. So once again, we're going to work from the top down, at least for this first corner, just so I can kind of get a shape that I like. And then once I get it established, it'll be easier to work from the bottom up as I go around the rest of the corners. But for here, I'm just trying to kind of get this step pyramid shape working down. So we got a couple areas that are level that we'll be able to walk on and all that. And yeah, just kind of freestyled my way on down here, and I think I ended up with a cool little shape. And as I go, I'll slowly make things unspawnable, because we do need all this to be unspawnable. But yeah, I think we got the shape we're going for here. Nice little step pyramid with some cool little walking paths. And I stepped away and I was liking how things were looking. It's definitely big. I wanted to chop this corner off though. It was just sticking out a little far, and I thought this would be something that kind of made it a little unique and not just like all the other pyramids you see, getting the corner chopped off here. And yeah, when I stepped back, I thought it looked pretty cool. So yeah, now it's just going to be a process of transferring that over to all the other corners. And you can just imagine how much material I'm going through here, but it's well worth it. I wouldn't quite call it a true mega project, but definitely the closest to a mega project I've ever done. And yeah, took a break and got slabbing up the floor down here because I need the floor to be unspawnable there too, so the golems don't just spawn underneath. Then I just got back to work and plugged away. Finished up by putting carpet over the walkways. Here is my last way of spawn proofing the area, and we've got this whole temple here built and spawn proof, so there's no blocks that a golem can spawn on. So when I kill this guy here that had spawned earlier, at this point we should have them spawning pretty good in our platform up here. So I came up and hung out a second, and there was already one going. And we'll just kind of see how the rates are. And there's a new one right at the time he was gone. So I think we're looking pretty good. And I'm just really happy with myself at this point. I've been working really hard on this, and I'm glad to finally have an iron farm under my belt. So yeah, we hop down and we can see that even though it hasn't been working at full efficiency, we're doing pretty good on the iron just in my time working here. And now it's only going to go faster and faster since I got it set up correctly at this point. But yeah, we can't have a bed within 100 blocks of the farm there, so that's kind of annoying. So I'm still going to be sleeping at my house. But yeah, got our first good view of the almost completed temple here. We'll be doing something with the top, and got to get some landscaping done. But I think we're at a pretty good spot. Went ahead and flew over to the main spawn area here just to see what it's going to look like from back here. And yeah, I think it's looking really cool. Can't really tell how big it is, but as we get other builds built over there, it'll look better as far as being bigger than everything else. But I think it's looking cool. It's going to kind of tower over the jungle over here. And yeah, as many materials as I've used getting the temple itself built, you can see when I take a lap around here, it's going to take a whole bunch of materials just getting this land looking a little better so it's not on a floating platform. So we're going to start by just doing a little resource gathering sesh, where I'm just going to be stealing some materials from underneath the platform here. And I'm going in layers of 2 so that golems can't spawn underneath. And I can eventually turn it into a mob farm maybe, which I've never done either. But yeah, we essentially got a chest full of stones and dirt and cobblestone. And before I got going on the project over there, I got sidetracked and got working in my spawn area, just mossifying the rocks over here a little bit, kind of BOO style. And yeah, put in a good day's work over there. Go ahead and go for a morning flight here. Favorite time of day in Minecraft, as I've mentioned before. And yeah, no, this might not be the best view of it. I'll slow things down a little bit so you can kind of see in a flyby. Definitely just gets these rock walls looking a lot cooler. And I'm just going to kind of have that be a off-camera project for when I want to just zone out and place some blocks. But yeah, now we're going to get going on some landscaping over here just to make this make a little more sense. So I did a little shaping on the top and chopped a few trees, and then it was just a matter of placing a whole bunch of stone, bringing it all the way up to the ground level of the temple up here. I try to do a little bit of shaping, make it look a little natural, but over time, as I build over here, well, it'll end up looking a lot better. For now, my main goal is just to make it so it's not a complete floating platform. But in the end, I actually ended up thinking it looked better than I might have thought. Using some dirt to get some shape and kind of droop over the top a little bit. And I came up to get working on the top of the temple, and I realized that some of the iron wasn't getting picked up by the hoppers, so I added a couple more hoppers in here, and that'll only make the farm more efficient, which is nice. And yeah, I just got going on the final top piece of the temple here. Used some yellow glass. I thought the pop of color would be really cool, and then I'm actually going to use the majority of the iron that's been created, which I was happy with how much iron was in there. But yeah, I used the majority of that to top the building off here. I just thought iron would be only makes sense. And I went down to see if I had any gunpowder, and I looked in all my bases and all my storage, and I have 1 rocket to my name and no gunpowder, so that's kind of annoying. I'm going to need to do something about that eventually. I've never built a creeper farm, but that'll fit in the industrial area nicely. Might not be anytime soon, but I'll get that done here eventually. But yeah, I'm really happy with how things are looking over here. Just getting the land kind of done and filled in just really brings it together for the finishing touches. I should emphasize, this is just stage 1. Both the temple and the land around it will get a nice detail session at some point, but it's taken me a lot of work to get to this point, and I probably would have kept going other than we have the 121 update come up, which that really snuck up on me. I didn't realize the actual date, so I probably would have put in a little more work and get a little more detailed out, but I'm ready to start exploring 121 a little bit, so I'm looking forward to doing that next episode. But that being said, I've really enjoyed this episode. Biggest project I've ever made, and I've really gotten a good zone, and I was real productive. So yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I will hang out a second just to show you. I didn't know for sure how golems worked as far as if they would spawn if I had them enclosed like this. But if I hang out just a second, we have one pop in here, and I will confirm that it kept on working nicely. So yeah, this temple's turning out to be a really cool place to view a sunset and a sunrise from, that's for sure. And I'm looking forward to whatever else I decide to do with this. We got a whole interior to work with down there, but we got lots of time to figure that out. But that, we're just going to call it an episode here. So as always, I appreciate you all for coming, and have a good day.